those chills when the king saw the hills. I was so propane, yeah. I don't know what it means to you chumps, but the team like a blunt, I'm coming back around. And they're coming back around. Niggas coming back around.
Young bull, back in school was at the cool table. All this green.
All right.
So we're gonna talk about our grandparents today. Mine are
Sounds good.
long
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
old,
me too.
Old man, old geezer right here.
Yeah, well, me too, except I got a story about my grandma.
You don't look too old.
Me? I'm older. Look, I'm early 30s, man.
No.
Yeah.
You must be late 20s.
No, I'm early 30s.
You definitely are late 20s.
No, I'm a late bloomer. Or early bloomer, or I don't know what you would say. So listen, I got a story about my grandma. She's my mom's mom. She's from Colombia, right?
Mm-hmm. You're Colombian.
Yeah,
Narcos.
part. Yeah, part. So she was like been in the United States like 30 years, didn't speak any English, right? Like hardcore Colombian. And anyway, this one time I wound up going to Colombia, hanging out at places that she knows and stuff. And she took me up to this famous place called Mount Serrate.
Okay.
And it's so steep, you got to take like a lift, like a ski lift, to get to the top. A funicular, as they call them.
Okay.
So we went up there, and we were having a good time. Me and my mom, my grandma, were just chilling out, and we're chewing cocoa leaves, which they do there. The indigenous people. My grandmom's indigenous, so yeah.
So you're native.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Colombian. Yeah, Colombian, real Colombian. 100% Colombian. So sitting up there having a good time, and then it turns out there's this church, supposed to be like the first church ever built in Colombia, up at the top, some famous church, and my grandma just kind of goes, "Hey, let's go to the church." And I am,
because that's like the tourist spot,
Oh yeah, you got to see it, right? It's like, if you're religious, like first church, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I told you this, but I am like anti-religious. Like I'm not just not religious; I'm really anti-religious. So
wow, anti-Christ.
Oh yeah, not exactly, but I just don't dig that whole thing. So so when she says that, I don't know what to say. But my mom just kind of casually, because my mom's not really religious, but she just says what's on her mind. So she goes, "Oh, he's not religious." And suddenly,
what do you mean? Like
she just said it to my grandma. She goes, he's not religious.
He doesn't believe it.
He doesn't believe in God. Right.
She said that.
Yeah. He doesn't believe in God. Next thing you know, my grandma is like, she starts to cry, and she's like, she has this look on her face, like, oh my God, right?
She was crying?
Yeah, and there's all these people all over the place, and she starts screaming, like, my son is a devil worshiper. He doesn't believe in Christ. He worships the devil, right? And she's just totally losing it, and I'm just sitting there. I don't know what to do, so.
Whoa,
Shit.
what were people doing? They were just looking at you?
Yeah, just looking, like.
And you're probably the only African descendant up there.
Oh, yeah, so... Yeah, like it's all these Colombians up there, right? And I'm the only like African American dude up there, right? So I'm kind of standing out a little bit anyway, right? I mean, with my hair, I look a little Colombian.
Yeah.
At that time,
Yeah.
Different now.
Yeah. You got a new cut.
Yeah, I got a new cut now. Scaling down, but so I'm sitting there, and my grandma and my mom.
She's going crazy.
She's just going crazy, and I don't know what to do. So they finally go into church.
It's like a Latino soap opera novella.
Exactly.
Telenovela.
Exactly. So they finally go in, and I just go, oh, well, I'm waiting out here, look around, find some Colombian dudes, and we got high while they visited the church. Basically, that's my grandparents' story. Yeah. So you got a story about one of your grandparents?
Yeah, my grandfather, never met him. I don't even know his name. Wow, wasn't even talked about that much in our family because it was a very tragic story, but powerful story. So a lot of people are seeing the socialist movement. They think it's something new.
Yeah.
It's actually very historical within the United States. We're a country that's always fighting for something, and there was a lot of socialists back in the day, and my father was born 1924, and before he was born, his father, my grandfather, was murdered. because he was a part of the socialist movement and he was a part of the, the workers' union and everything like that. My family's from East Oakland. So what had happened was, while my grandmother was pregnant with my father, my grandfather was involved with a lot of activism and a lot of work trying to organize. And back then, what people don't know, it actually happens now, is the police would hire mercenaries and armed people like mafia to go disrupt or fight against the people who were organizing, so that it wouldn't seem like their hands were clean.
Right.
And one day, my grandfather was driving back from a meeting. And
What kind of meeting? Like a
one of those,
labor organizing? What kind of?
Exactly. And he got cornered. Him and his friend got cornered by a bunch of not only police officers but also mafia kind of guys, henchmen, and they ended up in a shootout. And my grandfather got out the car, rolled underneath the car, and shot out with the cops, and actually killed 2 cops before he was killed.
Cop killer.
And I didn't even know anything about this, but my whole life I grew up with a weird disgust towards or disdain towards law enforcement. And then one day my uncle told me and my father at the same time, because my father didn't know either. His mother, my grandmother, never
He didn't
told
know
him.
what had happened to his own dad?
He didn't know. And this is right before the Great Depression. A single mom with 6 kids, no father. Sad.
Wow.
And my uncle told us both at the same time.
Yeah.
It was an emotional moment, and it all made sense to me why I didn't like cops.
Yeah. Wow, that's a cool story.